Is there a strategic nuclear arms race? Commentary. Yes, there is a nuclear arms race. But the United States is not in it and has not been since the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the USSR. On the contrary, the U.S. has significantly reduced both its reliance on nuclear weapons and its inventory of nuclear forces by over 90%. Two major countries engaged in an accelerating nuclear arms race are Russia and China. Trouble remains as well. Thankfully, the United States has now taken critical steps to modernize its strategic nuclear forces, replacing its aging forces on a one-for-one basis. The U.S. remains from 2.5 to 6 times worse off in the nuclear production business as the U.S. is racing only to stay in place. Russia has not only modernized its strategic nuclear forces, they have also significantly increased the number of nuclear warheads they can deliver, replacing, for example, the single-warhead Topol ICBMs with multi-warhead Yars ICBMs, creating a warhead count potentially far in excess of New START treaty limits. Russia currently has 168 Yars ICBMs, each carrying 4 to 6 RVs, 36 Yars-S each carrying 3 heavy re-entry vehicles. 46 SS-18 ICBMs each carrying 10 RVs, being replaced by the Sarmat each carrying up to 15 to 20 light RVs. The SS-19s are largely retired except for 18 carrying the Avangard hypersonic vehicle. Current total ICBM warheads are between 1916 to 2190 if fully uploaded. Russia has 5 Delta IV SSBNs each carrying 16 Laner SLBMs and each capable of carrying 8 to 12 RVs. Russia also has 8 Boryai SSBNs with 2 more under construction and 2 to 4 more planned after that. Each Boryai carries 16 Bulava SLBMs, each SLBM carries 6 RVs for a total of 1312 to 1632 warheads. Votinsk, the production plant, can produce Yars and Bulava missiles at a rate of 40/year. Russia's bomber force is rapidly decaying. The 52 Tu-95 Bears were to be modernized with new engines and avionics, but that program is moving slowly due to sanctions, and the same is true for the 13 Tu-160 Blackjack bombers to be modernized to the Tu-160M2 standard. Russia planned on building 50 additional Tu-160M2s, but that program is also delayed, as is Russia's new stealth bomber the PAKDA. Total current bomber weapon numbers are 964, bringing total Russian strategic nuclear force totals to 4192 to 4786 warheads. China's rapid nuclear buildup has been characterized as breathtaking by U.S. officials. Although China continues to claim a minimum deterrent posture retaliatory only in nature, their forces as deployed enable them to execute any policy/strategy they wish. China has 96 DF-31 mobile ICBMs each with 1 to 3 RVs, 84 DF-41 ICBMs with 2 to 10 RVs, 40 DF-5B/C liquid fuel silo-based ICBMs with 10 RVs, 320 to 360 silo-based DF-31/41 in 3 ICBM fields. China recently showcased the new DF-61 ICBM, close in size to the DF-41 and more technologically advanced. A recent DIA report stated that China would have 700 ICBMs by 2035, some 75% greater than the United States. China's sea leg of their nuclear triad consists of 6 Type 094 Gene-class SSBN, each with 12 JL-3 SLBMs with 1 to 3 RVs for a total of between 72 to 216 SLBM warheads. Another 6 to 8 Type 096 SSBNs are expected to be deployed by 2035, each carrying 16 to 20 JL-3 or new class SLBMs. Total current SLBM warhead count is 216, but the new 096 SSBN would add another 288 to 480 warheads. China's air leg of the triad consists of 90 to 100 H-6K bombers carrying 6 to 7 CJ-20 cruise missiles as well as 20 to 30 H-6N carrying 1 new JL-1 nuclear missile revealed in the recent military parade. China can produce 15 to 20 H-6 bombers/year, but H-6 production will likely be replaced by production of the H-20 stealth bomber. China's stealth bomber is expected first flight in 2025-26 and will have a range of 8,500 kilometers and be capable of carrying 10 to 16 weapons. Current total bomber weapon count is 630 warheads. China's current total strategic nuclear weapons count is 4,846 if fully uploaded. This is in stark contrast to the U.S. intelligence community statement that China only has 600 strategic nuclear weapons. However, simple math shows that if you take the current Russian and Chinese missile numbers stated by FAS and the intelligence community and multiply by the estimated WH carriage capability, you produce far more WH numbers than 600. The strategic nuclear modernization and build-up programs of China and Russia are largely completed, with Russia completing deployment of at least 46 Sarmat ICBMs with 15 to 20 RVs, as well as the Arcturus SSBN with a 2035 IOC, and eventually the PAKDA bomber. China's strategic nuclear force is forecast to continue to grow to 700 ICBMs by 2035, as well as the addition of the Type 096 SSBN, additional H-6 bombers and a new H-20 stealth bomber. In contrast, the United States is only modernizing its triad, not increasing its force size or capabilities, replacing aging systems on a one-for-one basis with no increase in deployed nuclear warheads. In no way can these modernization actions be viewed as arms racing. The Sentinel ICBM with one warhead will replace the existing 450mm 3 ICBM, which are 55 years old and armed with one warhead starting in the 2030s and completed by 2040s. The Columbia SSBN, with 16 D5 SLBMs, will replace the Ohio SSBN with 20 D5 SLBMs on a one-for-one basis starting in 2032 and completed by 2042. D5 SLBMs from Ohio D5 SSBNs will go into the Columbia SSBNs. The USC leg of the triad could have 1536 warheads if fully uploaded with 8 RVs/SLBM. The B-21 dual-role conventional/nuclear bomber will enter the force in 2027 at a rate of 710/year for a total of 100 bombers. They can carry B-61 bombs or 8 nuclear AGM-181 long-range standoff cruise missiles. They will replace the 45 B-1 conventional bomber and the 20 B-2 bombers. The 76-strong B-52 force will be modernized into the B-52J configuration with new engines and avionics and fly until 2070, when it will be 100 years old. The B-52J will be capable of carrying up to 20 long-range strike options or cruise missiles. In summary, while China, Russia, and North Korea have been arms racing since the end of the Cold War, the U.S. has been a sideline observer. The current long-delayed U.S. strategic force modernization program is replacing systems aging out on a one-for-one basis without increasing capability, while Russia, China, and North Korea have not only modernized their force, they have also significantly increased capabilities. The United States is facing a two-tier deterrence dilemma, a Russia with as many as 4,786 strategic nuclear warheads. China with potentially upwards of 4,846 strategic nuclear weapons for a combined force of 9,632 strategic nuclear warheads. The United States will have 3,010 strategic nuclear weapons and approximately 200 theater weapons if we upload all our missiles. As stated by the U.S. Strategic Posture Commission as well as a growing number of U.S. officials, the U.S. will have to increase its nuclear forces, but how and how fast? From Real Clear Wire.